What's up, YouTube? Cuban Gamer Man. Appreciate you clicking. Appreciate you watching. Well, actually, I guess listening, if you are listening, because I'm just gonna be talking in this one. But I'm gonna try to keep this. Short. Once again, I don't ever got a script or nothing, so I apologize. But anyways, I'm gonna just speak my mind, man. I guess I could title this the biggest problem that this game has, because in my opinion, what I'm about to say, is the biggest problem in this game. And it might surprise some people, right? And I've talked about this before, but I want to hone in on it. I want to focus on it a little bit more, right? The biggest problem in this game is no separation, no differences between no, let me rephrase that. No separation of casual players and sweats. So high skill level players, low skill level wow, that stutter though. Low skill level players, right? So why is that a problem? Right? Why is this the biggest? Because that's a big statement. Wow, the biggest problem, really? There's a lot of problems in this game. There's a lot of problems in every video game. But here's the way I look at it, right? Why is this the biggest problem? The biggest problem, or the reason it's the biggest problem, in my opinion, hopefully this audio is okay, by the way. Sorry if it's not. But the reason that's the biggest problem is because if, 4 survivors, 1 killer, right? It doesn't matter if those 5 players have a combined 50 hours, if they each have 10 hours in the game, right? It doesn't matter if everyone has a combined 50 hours or if everyone has a combined 50,000 hours. If it's a 10,000 hour, if everyone had 10,000 hours, it doesn't matter. If they spawn in, the map can be exactly the same. Everything is exactly the same. There's still 5 gens. There's still the same loops. Everything is identical, right? They can have the same exact items. There are no differences between you creating a new account, spawning into a game. Now, hold on, let me clarify now. When I say there's no differences, obviously playing against someone with 10 hours and playing against someone with 10,000 hours, obviously that's going to be different. I'm talking about the game, like the video game, okay? Someone downloads the game, buys the game, downloads it. They spawn in to their first match on, whatever map, fucking Rotten Fields. They played 10,000. They put in 10,000 hours over a couple years, right? Well, Rotten Fields has changed, but let's say you get my point, though. I kind of fucked up there, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's the same game, okay? So that goes on. Let me elaborate that, because it goes deeper than that, right? The player base for this game is casual. This is a casual game. It has a vast majority of the player base, like a very big majority, and like I'd say there's no way to really know, because it depends what you call a casual. But in my opinion, right, you can agree with me, whatever, but in my opinion, right, in the couple thousand hours that I put in, I'd argue that 90%, if not more, of the player base are casuals. You know what I'm saying? They maybe 80%, whatever. I don't know. It depends what you call casual, but the truth is that most people just aren't really that good. They're not really that sweaty. They don't really care that much. They don't know life this game like some of us do. You know what I'm saying? So that's a problem, right? Because basically what happens is, and Scott Jund has talked about this, okay? This is his theory but I think it makes perfect sense, and I think everyone can agree that this happens to a certain extent. New players start out, right? The game is balanced around fairly new players, so you know it's all fine and dandy. When you finally inevitably, you know, considering you keep on improving, right? Some people improve quicker than others, but when you get to that point where you know um you know about the game, like you're good. When you get good, you know, then the game isn't really enjoyable as much for both sides. Okay, you get to a high level of killer, and then you realize like, hey, um, this game, in this video game, I'm designed to lose versus uh 4 good players. I'm designed to lose, right? Most, you know, in general, right? But then as survivor, you know, you get to highest level and you're like, hey, I'm designed to win, right? So what's the what are the effects of that? What you know, what are the negatives of that? Well, killers, you know, let me think about it. Let me think about how I want to say this. What's the effects of this, right? Well, as a killer, right? If you're designed to lose, right? Two things two things are going to happen. You're either going to win because the survivors weren't good enough, right? Because they lost even though you had an advantage, right? And mind you, everything I'm saying, there's always an exception, okay? I'm not talking about freaking Myers on Hawkins specifically. I'm not talking about freaking Spirit on Cold Tower with like double Eerie add-ons. Like I'm talking about in general, okay? In general, okay? In general, at the highest level, with 4 good players, the survivors, especially communication is a very big factor though. I'm talking about just 4 people, maybe even 3, just communicating with each other, okay? Because that's how, I mean, a lot of people do that. A lot of people play on comms, and that's how tournaments are as well. But anyways, let me stay on topic here. So as a killer, you either win because the survivors weren't good enough, or they just played horribly and made fatal mistakes, or you just lose because you know you made too many mistakes, but also because you're designed to lose, or the game is designed for you to lose, basically. Now, when I say designed, I'm not saying like you know, I don't know if that's the right word, but look, it's an asymmetrical game. I get it. It's never gonna be perfectly balanced, but it definitely could be better than it is now. Now let me go on to Survivor. Hold on, actually. Let me send a text real quick, because I just got invited. Okay, anyways. So now let's go on to Survivor. If you're, by the way, I'm talking about, even in the current version of the game, even as the game is right now, solo queue experience, which means playing by yourself, absolutely horrible. Absolutely super unfun overall, right? And obviously, in my opinion, super unfun, super challenging. Dude, solo queue Survivor, I've said this before, I stick by it. Solo queue Survivor is worse than Red Rank. Solo queue Red Rank Survivor is a worse overall experience than Red Rank Killer. 100%. I will always agree with that. However, that is partially due to, just like I said, the casual player base, because most people freaking suck at this game. And I'm not saying that, you know, I'm like, oh, like all that I'm good. No, I just played this game a lot because I'm a fucking nerd, you know what I mean? So that's the only reason I'm considered above average. Every other game that I've played where it's popular, where it has many players that are really dedicated, you know, Fortnite, fucking COD, Apex, not really sure what else. I've never really played that many games, but those games, for example, those all had a really, at one point had a really large player base. People tried, people were I was never very good at those games, you know what I'm saying? And it's not because I'm necessarily like bad. It's because there's a lot of people who are playing and a lot of people who care about being good. That's just not the case with this game. But yeah, okay. Let me stay on topic, man. Survivor. Even if you're playing with friends, you know, let alone solo queue. Solo queue is already trash as it is. That's a whole nother topic, right? But even if you're playing with friends, even if you're playing in a 4-man and you're a very good player and you're playing with 3 other very good players versus a very good killer, it's gonna affect you. The balance of the game affects you even as it is right now, because guess what? That killer, they're gonna camp, they're gonna tunnel, they're gonna slug, they're gonna do all that. And look, I've heard some people say that they prefer it when the killer tunnels and slugs and all that shit. I think I'm speaking for the majority when I say that I don't like getting tunneled, I don't like getting camped, I don't like getting slugged, you know? I want to be able to get chased, you know what I mean? I want to be able to basically just get chased, you know what I mean? But what everything else that I said, tunneling, camping, slugging, that's taking away from what's fun in Survivor. That's taking away from the chase. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't want to make this too long. I'm probably just gonna end it here. But just to recap, the biggest problem in this game is not separating casuals from sweats. It makes the highest level, it makes competitive games, not even tournament level, I'm just talking about, it just makes high level games unfun for both sides, okay? Killers are fucking, they're stressed, they're at a disadvantage, they have to camp and tunnel instead of chasing. You know, I don't really like camping and tunneling. You know, I like going for hooks, but, you know, versus good teams you can't. So that's it, you know, that's that for killer. For survivor, survivors are getting, you know, they're getting tunneled, they're getting camped, they're getting slugged. It's just not, overall, man, it's just very, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. You know, this game has so much potential, man, you know? This game has a lot of potential, but, you know, it's just kind of wasted a little bit. You know what I mean? The game is going in a direction, you know, the devs, they just did their 5 hour, like 5th year anniversary stream. And, you know, it's a little concerning because they're going into the direction of immersion. They just want to get good graphics, whatever. That's all good, you know what I'm saying? I mean, no, it's not good because, you know what? This game's gonna die quicker than it needs to because they don't want to worry about gameplay. It doesn't matter how good the game looks. No one's gonna play it if it plays like shit. You know? I don't know, man. I think, you know, I think that one of the most important and, well, I mean, I think it might be the most important thing, but, it's kind of hard to say, but one of the most important things developing a developer studio can do for their game, the developers can do for their game, regardless of what game it is trying to keep everyone happy. Okay, and I get it. Look, I get it that they're catering towards who's making them the money. It's the noobs, it's the casuals. I get it. But you know, they need to be careful, because what regardless of what you think about the game, I think everyone to a certain degree can agree that they are neglecting gameplay. Okay, the balancing gameplay wise is, I mean, it's arguably going backwards. I mean, I don't know, man, because yeah, they've done some good changes. They nerfed DS recently. That's the biggest one, right? But guess what? I mean, it kind of seems like for everything they do, they kind of take every step they take a step back, because then they added fucking infinites back into the game that you have to break with a breakable wall, or not infinites, like god windows and stuff. Very bad design. I think I'm getting off topic a little bit here, but I'll just leave it at that. No one wants to hear me talk for too long, so. But anyways, if you listen to this, I appreciate it. Let me know what you think. I'm just speaking my mind, but I'm trying to spit facts. So yeah, just let me know. Appreciate you listening. Peace.